Coming up, we tackle an uphill portage and risk an exceptionally challenging final day in favor of play in a nice location. Will it be worth it? Join me for day 5 of this memorable 6-day backcountry adventure of paddle and portage with my best friend. I'm Amanda, and this is the Sayward Forest Canoe Route on a paddleboard. Good morning. Hi, precious buddy. How are you today? Yeah, good morning. I was just laying here with Frank and a wasp came and he deactivated it and then ate it. He was very fierce about it. Hey, Frank? We're having, I guess, a slow morning today because it's beautiful and we have a really nice spot and we're comfortable in. I don't think, I don't really know what's going to happen on the portage, but I'm going to try to evenly space our last 2 days out here so that neither is too big. Oh boy. Hi, Frank. Thank you for saving me from that wasp. That was extremely valiant of you. I hope it doesn't sting your insides. Frank is so funny. He's laying over by all the paddle gear waiting for me, and I have everything here. The camp's packed up, but I'm not packed up. I just made my coffee. At least I know he likes going on the board for sure. Like, he's ready to go. Well, aside from Frank, I am all loaded up and ready for our massive 500-meter paddle before the portage. It's only 10:20, but it's so hot already. The sun feels so intense. Oh, what's this? Is this a frog? Oh, yes. Good job, buddy. Thank you. Frank, please don't fall off the board. You're a little sideways. Anyways, that's where we're going. There's the portage. The breeze is so nice and the air has cleared. It is not near as hazy as yesterday, which is much better for just existing. So I'm paddling the shoreline, even though it's longer, and even though I'm definitely not going to be camping on this lake, because one of the great things about doing a trip for the first time is that everything's new and there's this like really fun feeling of discovery, but also it makes for great reconnaissance. So if you want to do it in the future, you can like really optimize the experience. So just checking for sights. We are on our way and it feels so hard. The thing is to pull it, I can't actually walk fully straight. I'm kind of at a slight angle. So it's like a forward grapevine and my like inner thigh, the abductor or whatever, is getting worked in a way like it just doesn't normally. I really feel it on these portages. But we started the portage at a wreck site and we ended a wreck site. So I suspect that it's just road, which would be really nice. Oh, we're not going well, are we? Okay, let me fix the cart. I don't know why we're sideways. Portage's road. Portage is uphill. Pushing Frank. Pushing is easier uphill. Oh my goodness. Alright, now we're going downhill. Yay! It's definitely a little easier to go downhill, but the board with Frank and the gear is like about 125 pounds-ish. So it will roll me over if I'm not careful. So I actually have to do a lot of braking on the downhills. It's ramen time. I was so happy to get to the end of that portage and have there be a lake that's like clear, good for swimming. So I cooled off and then we paddled like a kilometer and I found a nice spot to stop for lunch because I was really hungry. But something I haven't really mentioned so far this trip is the amount of time I spent looking at maps and deliberating my plan because I didn't have a set plan before coming out here. I'm somebody who likes to do things in a very flexible manner, and because I've allotted an ample amount of time, I'm able to do what feels right each day, or do as much as I feel like I need to not make life harder for future Amanda, so that future Amanda, who is now me, can have a more leisurely trip this second half. So basically we are halfway down this lake. So we have a little over a kilometer to pedal, and then we have a short portage, a tiny lake, a short portage, a tiny lake, a short portage, and then the final lake where we launched at. Those 3 portages together add up to 800 meters. So they're all short. The lakes are small, and the smaller the lake, the less likely to find camping and the less likely there to be good swimming spots. And then the last lake, I've already spent 2 nights on for Frank's birthday, so I'd rather not spend our last night there. It is also a much busier lake. So I figure since this spot is nice, we might as well just call it a day and hang out here. And yeah, I've already hung up my hammock, and once the sun moves over this way, I'll set up my tent right there where Frank is laying, and we can just hang out here, which will make tomorrow our last day. Not the easiest. I've never seen a loo like this before. It's not quite a box. It's a hole in the ground that's covered by, looks like some sort of bushcrafter style thing, and you just sit here and let it drop in there. It seems really sturdy. I've just never seen one done that way. When I started this lake and was going up, I could see the rocky slope that I was paddling towards when I set out. So it's really cool to see it and know that it's going to get closer and closer, and then we're going to be home. But that's tomorrow. Today we lounge. This is so nice. I've just been bobbing around, testing my gear. Look at how dirty you are, rolling around. You go for a swim, get all clean, and roll in the dirt. Oh, filthy Frank. Cute though. This is gonna be our home for the night here. And got the hammock and the dock. I've been really pleased with this camp spot. Frank and I had quite a bit of fun in the water there, and then it's been nice and comfortable with breeze from time to time, as well as some clouds coming in. Has just made for a lovely afternoon. I've been just chipping away at this. It's a big book. It's a slow book. I'm almost halfway through, although I did start it before this trip, but yeah, there's going to be a lot of reading left in it after this trip. I probably should have brought a lighter book. There's actually quite a few things I would change if I were to pack knowing what I know now. So I'll probably talk about that at a later point in this video. Yeah, I'm pretty pleased with my decision to camp here. I didn't know this place was going to exist. It's not on any map. I just hoped there would be a good spot to camp on this lake. And there is. It's been really nice. And yeah, it just makes sense to spend more time in the places I haven't spent time. And that means not continuing on to the final lake today. Yeah, there's been moments throughout this trip where I'm like, I'd really like to be done this. But most of the time I'm super stoked to be out here and I do not wish for it to go faster. And I'm really glad I planned to take as much time as I did, and that I've been able to find all these awesome camp spots to have to myself and to have a nice kind of immersive nature time with Frank. And there's been no phone service, so I've had a lot of really good time to think. Although one of the things I've been thinking about a lot, at first my thought was, is this a portaging trip or a paddling trip? Because day one, like, even though I paddled further than I portaged, I think I spent more time portaging. So it felt like a portaging trip. There's a lot of portages on this route, and a lot of small paddles. It started to feel like more of a paddling trip, and then recently I've been thinking actually it's probably just more of a camping trip, especially after today and yesterday. So yeah, I mean, it's all of them, but yeah, it feels like we're just kind of living out here, camping in like a slow way. The paddle circuit is just the mode of transportation to spend some time living outside and not as much the objective. I was relaxing in the hammock after dinner, and then I got startled because I heard something walking. So I got up. I've been looking for it. I just kept hearing steps in the leaves around. Have my bear spray ready. Um, like looking all around and looking up too, like looking up in the trees because, like, you know, I don't know if it's like a cougar, although I wouldn't hear it in the leaves if it were a cougar in the trees. But anyways, I was like, I don't know, maybe it's like some noisy birds or deer or something. And I'm like going around. Frank barked a few times, but he wasn't too upset. And the wind is coming this way, so we're downwind. So I figure if it's a bear, Frank would be acting differently. And then finally I locked eyes with it, and it was a squirrel. It had been trying to sneak up on us through the salal. So yeah, it looked at me and was like, maybe not. And then it went back into the salal. It's like doing little scurries. Anyways, now that I've successfully defended our camp from a ferocious intruder, I'm going to celebrate my last night out here in the Sayward Forest with my final 2 Tim Tams. I brought 10 Tim Tams, 2 per night for 5 nights, and I'm very proud of myself that there are 2 left on my final night, because there was some times earlier in this trip I really could have used an extra cookie. I've kind of been through a lot, but